Welcome to Liquidity and Liquor, and this is Yosef Martin with Scott Clary, and today we're going to be talking about motivation. Motivation on social media.
I think motivation is one of the most highly overrated yet useless things that people subscribe to because it isn't useful for building a business. It isn't useful. Even if you got a business started because you're motivated, it's not going to carry you through. You're going to burn out. You need way more things, a lot of different buzzwords to make sure that you actually build it successfully. And I think it's a complete waste of time, but everybody buys into it. Why do people buy into motivation? Why do people watch these 30-second clips? Why does this make you feel like you can do something that you haven't done before? Why do people wait for January 1st to go to the gym? Why do people wait for the relationship to get so bad before they break up with the person? Why do people always, it's like, this is like the cause. There's always like they need motivation to change their life. And I don't get it because I need to understand this because I'm the kind of person that if I want to change my life, I just start doing. And I feel like you're very similar, but that's not the case for most people because this whole world of motivation exists. Motivational speakers, motivational content, motivational 30-second BS on TikTok and shorts.
I feel like the motivation can be okay if you take it at the right dosage. Meaning, I was using Clubhouse at the time, and there were quite a few business rooms, and I was in so many of them at the time. And I remember some people would be on the crowd, just no matter what, you would see the same faces in the crowd listening to people like me, JT Fox, there was just Nicole and Leah. There was a lot of business discussions over there. And they're very practical, by the way. They were just really good business discussions, and I loved being on it. But there was one time that I was on one of the stages, and someone asked me questions about BoxyCharm, and she said it motivates her to open her business. And I asked her, how long were you considering opening a business? She said, oh, it's always been something that I said, but she said, I'm on Clubhouse. And I said, okay, how often are you on Clubhouse? Like, all day. How long? Oh, for 2 months. I said, well, I prohibit you from going on Clubhouse because that's what's motivator. I said, well, I prohibit you from getting on Clubhouse again. Now go and do. Enough motivation over here. Get tactical knowledge, get a skill, and start doing something. Figure out the what or learn something that's going to give you a reason to start, but enough motivation. When I go on Clubhouse, I told her, I'm not going on Clubhouse because I need any motivation. I'm talking on Clubhouse because I build relationship. I hear someone that does something that I didn't know that I learn, right? Yeah. I build new skills. I don't care for the motivation, but that's me. But if you need motivation to be an entrepreneur, that's already a question. However, if you want to be motivated, that's okay. But don't use too much of it. Just small percentage. The rest of the time should be skills. Learn skills. Dedicate yourself for skill, for information that you need to know your surrounding. That's what you need to do. And that's where, and then coming forward to this one, the reason it came up now was because recently I was sitting with a friend and his girlfriend was telling me that she's looking to build a business. And again, it's a very commonality, which I like it because they said, hey, what do you think? And then they started showing me, they wanted to show me their concept of what they're doing, and she was scrolling on Instagram, and everything was a motivational speech. Everything was, everything, it's like Tony Robbins lookalikes speaking in the same language. I said, this is your feed, that's all you do?
You know what it is? You know what motivation is? Motivation is you searching out an excuse to not start the thing that you're doing. I think you're looking for an excuse when you search through Tony Robbins 30-second clips. I think that even if you went to Tony Robbins, a lot of people have said
you get the dopamine from it because you feel like you're listening to something.
People say he changes their life, right? Mm-hmm. But what actually changed your life? It wasn't stepping into that room and jumping up and down for a day or an hour. It was doing the thing that you wanted to do for the next 10 years. So what if you could realize that the thing that actually changed your life was not Tony Robbins, but the mindset shift that actually occurred. So it wasn't momentary motivation, but you actually can achieve that if you believe that it can be done without going to Tony Robbins. Literally every entrepreneur in the world has already thought they can do it, but they don't need Tony Robbins to tell them that. So you just have to believe more in yourself as opposed to looking for all these excuses.
I feel like not everyone is, like some people are ready. If if you read the book Think and Grow Rich, the whole concept of the book is that the book actually said, look, the secret is here, but you're not going to see it. The idea is that you need to be ready to see something. All right. So motivation is obviously not that. If you have a skill set and you're searching and you want to do something, until you are in a right mindset, you're not going to see the opportunity that lays right in front of you, because the opportunities are always in front of us. Some get to see it, some don't. Think of a puzzle. If I have right now a puzzle and I didn't start the puzzle, all I see is a bunch of mess on the floor and a bunch of pieces. But if you started a puzzle and you started putting together the first few pieces, which is the hardest ones, because you don't, it's 3,000 piece puzzle, you found the first 2 pieces. And then the third one, it's the hardest one, the beginning. Now you have an understanding of where to go from. Eventually you're going to see the 4th piece. You're going to say, oh, this is mine. This is your opportunity. Mm-hmm. The beginning, it made you ready for it, right? Not everyone is at that stage in their life. So when you go into an event with 6,000 people, some are in that stage, very small amount, and they're going to talk about this, and you're going to see them and they're going to say, but where's the rest of them? It's not going to change. So the idea is that you have to kind of like start something, and you need to build a particular skill set. You need to start something with that skill set that you already know. And once you already have that skill set, you see another opportunity and you said, oh, I can use it. I already know how to do SEO. Or I can go viral on my Instagram. That would be cool. I can actually sell this cup because I can do a viral video on this cup. Now this is an opportunity because it's clear, and in my previous, I think I have a way to go viral on this one. Okay, now I saw this as an opportunity. You don't know how to go viral. You wouldn't see this as an opportunity because you're not there yet. So that can create motivation for you to go and work for hours and hours. Motivation is not a bad thing. Motivation is imperative for success. Einstein wouldn't be writing for 10 years his theory, and then after 10 years come up with that formula in a dark room unless he had a motivation. But in order for you to have the motivation, you have to be doing something.
I don't think what he had was motivation.
What's that?
I don't think what he had was motivation.
Oh, it was motivation. I
think he saw the end result and he was passionate enough to get to the end result.
But it builds the motivation, right? Because it depends how you see. Because motivation is useless if you only use motivation. It's great when you have it because you can push a little bit more. But if you say, well, regardless to my motivation, I'm still gonna do the job because I have the discipline.
The analogy is like if you had a lighter, but you're trying to light a fire and you have no kindling and you have no wood, you just keep flicking the lighter. Well, you're not gonna have a fire. Motivation is the lighter.
It's the lighter.
What are you
right?
going to apply it
You
to?
still need something. That's right. Yeah. It's not enough. It's not enough, and you need the discipline behind this. However, my point behind this is that when you see someone that has a feed that has nothing but motivational speakers, you're looking at the wrong content. Go and start looking for tactical information. Learn something. Get information about the world. Go and listen to how-tos. Don't just listen to motivation, because motivation doesn't get you smarter. It doesn't get you more skilled. It doesn't give you experience. All right, you need the skill, you need the experience, you need to have something, and then adding motivation into it, it's going to probably get you started.
Yeah, it'll get you started, but
Yes.
then if you just start taking action, if you did a combination of going on YouTube and watching how-to videos like you just mentioned, and then like doing things every single week and failing and doing and failing and doing and failing and learning, that would take you way farther than Tony Robbins
Absolutely.
or any motivational clips or anything would ever take you.
Here's a cool example, right? My cousins lives in Colombia. They moved to Colombia. They moved from Israel to Spain, whatever, young, decided to open a business. One of them ended up getting stuck in COVID. He went to LA and he got stuck in LA because they shut down the borders. He wasn't able to enter Colombia again. So during that time, he decided to be useful for himself. His business was run by his other brother, my other cousin. And he did 2 things. First, he got married, so he got the papers. Met someone, like, if I'm going to meet someone, let's make it. But the second thing he did, he said, let's build another business while I'm already here. So he built 2 businesses. One was the construction, fixer-upper, because it was quick money. The second one that he did, he said, you know what, can I arbitrage traffic by advertising on Facebook and sell stuff through AliExpress and dropship and all that? So I asked him, how was it? He's like, well, you go into a bunch of courses on YouTube. I learned them. I started doing this. At first, it didn't work, but then I took another course that was better. He didn't take motivational, nothing. He just took courses that taught him how to go and create ads that are successful on Facebook, and how to find a product, how to go on AliExpress to see that this is $2 here, and then I can just sell it for whatever price over here. This is a site that I can go and kind of like copy. So he would copy this. He copied a website that had lots of nudges, so a site that sold a bunch of products, and the nudges kind of like indicate for him this is what works for them. So he would go and look in AliExpress for all those products, find their prices, and then it would take him a couple hours. He would take an image, post an ad, put the product on his website, post an ad on Facebook. You don't buy anything. You only buy after there is a purchase, and then you ship it from there. Asking me about how much are you making out of it. He's like, I'm not very happy. No, imagine he's like 33, right? No kids, not married. He's just got stuck, and that was like a side hustle, like a third side hustle that he has. Tell me, I'm not very happy right now. I think we closed 300,000 this month, but but he splits with his brother, so it's only 150. And he's like, I think I'm going to shut it down. It's too much of my time.
You imagine how many entrepreneurs would kill for a business that makes them 300,000?
It was literally just a side gig of a side gig, and it has like other companies. So that was my cousin. So that was my little cousin. And just to show you, he wanted to build something. You don't listen to motivational speakers. You take a course. You learn another course, and most of them are free online. By the way, they're not paid or anything like that. On motivation, I can tell you, when I had a business that was sales required, there's a cool thing I used to watch in the morning for motivation for me to go and kick ass, and it was cool. It was Glenn Gary, Glenn Rose. And it was like a kind of like a compilation of a few of those. One of them was from a boiler room, and it was like, let's go. Now that was for sales, and it was like fucking awesome, and you go in like, let's go, right? But then that was it. Right, that was it. That's all I did. Now we're rolling right now. We're rolling. So like, I didn't go in and spend all day with that. The rest of the day, I was looking for products. I was looking for marketing tactics. That was like 2 seconds a minute of a day that I wanted to wake up early and say, but I see people having their feed jammed with motivation. That's all they do, wasting their day on listening to motivation instead of doing the job. I'm not telling you not to do motivation, but that should be the 1%. That spark, like you said it's like a lighter. Okay, that's it. The rest of it, all the woods, all the
newspaper,
the newspapers,
gas,
everything
whatever,
else.
Yeah.
This is the doing. This is the product. You have to look for products. You have to look for the right products. You have to look for avenues to sell it. You have to find the right platforms to sell it on, the LLC formation, everything else. So start with that. I'm not telling you not to do it. I don't disclaim the fact that there is value in motivation. But if you put it so much, it's like putting too much salt in your dish. Like you have salt and
a little bit of salt is okay.
All salt and a tiny piece of bacon. No. It should be the other way around. Well, I don't do bacon, but yes, maybe it's not a good example.
It's a good enough example. Enough people like bacon.
Yes.
All right. Okay, that's it for today. If you enjoyed, please subscribe on YouTube. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can download and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts or on liquidityandliquor.com.